So welcome to a new camera comparison between the two flagships from Honor versus the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. Honor Magic 5 Pro versus Xiaomi 13 Ultra, and you can see the specs as well. Triple 50 megapixel setup on the Honor, and we have a quadruple 50 megapixel setup on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. And of course also here you can see the front facing video specs on both of them. 3D face unlock on the Honor, which is quite nice, and I think we start off with the videos on the front. So we start off with the Xiaomi 13 Ultra 1080p 60 frames per second. Yes, it can record 60 frames per second. That's the only feature of the front-facing camera. 1080p only, which is quite a bit soft. It's not the worst 1080p, but for a super flagship device, it should have at least 4K 30. At least we don't have any time limit when recording 1080p 60, which is quite nice. And I think the exposure is quite nice, as well as the stabilization. What do you think about the Xiaomi 13 Ultra's front-facing camera? This is now the Honor Magic 5 Pro's front-facing camera, 4K 30 recording, a time limit of 15 minutes, but we have different zoom levels here. 0.7 times is by default. I switched to 0.8 times already, so we can get a bit wider if we want to, which is quite nice, so we can fit a lot more in the shot here. And I can also crop into 1 times if I need to have more focus on my face if I want to. Stabilization is good, even in this sunset scenario where we have a little bit of less light. What do you think about the front-facing camera of the Honor Magic 5 Pro? This is now recording with the 1-inch type sensor of the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. What do you think about this one? We have nice background blur, we have good stabilization, and I think good colors. We can switch, this is very interesting, between f1.9 and f4 aperture, which might be quite good, especially if you want a little bit of more depth of field. You can have it with f4 in very bright daylight conditions. But yeah, this is the 1-inch type sensor, 4K 30. You can record up to 8K 24 frames per second on this one here. But I don't think you can switch between all the lenses, but at 4K 30 you can do so. So let's switch to the ultra wide angle. Yeah. So now we are at the ultra wide angle of the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. What do you think about this one here? This is pretty wide, I would say. How good is the quality, stabilization and colors? What do you think about this one here? And of course we want to zoom in on something, so let's try to zoom in on the towers there in the background. So there we go. You can see the sun is setting there. And you might hear some music in the background. There's some party ship passing by the Rhine. So let's go and zoom in up to 2.8 times. It switched lenses to the 3.5 times lenses, and then 5 times switched lenses. And we can zoom up to 15 times, which is quite nice using the 5 times optical zoom lens. What do you think about this one? The maximum of the Honor Magic 5 Pro is 10 times zoom with its 3.5 times zoom lens. What do you think about this one? Stabilization is good, colors as well. We can go in here to 4 times and then back to 1 time zoom. And we have this almost 1-inch type sensor here that gives us still a good background blur. How's my face now? Because it was quite red on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. What do you think about this one here? Does it get the colors a bit more right? And how's the background blur, stabilization and so on the Honor Magic 5 Pro? And of course 4K 30 frames per second still has a time limit of 15 minutes, but we can also switch between all the lenses like I showed you. The zoom lenses are working, so let's switch to the ultra wide angle. I mean, this is the 0.6 times ultra wide angle. It's not so ultra wide as on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, but what do you think about this one here in comparison to the Xiaomi 13 Ultra? So this one here, 4K 30 as well. How is the color here? How good is the stabilization in HDR? And yeah, maybe one last zoom check on this party boat there. So let's go in here and you can see the sunset. Let's go 10 times there. You can see, maybe you hear something in the background, and at least they're partying there, which is quite nice. So yeah, what do you think about the Honor Magic 5 Pro? And just for comparison, the Xiaomi 13 Ultra now also a 10 times zoom on the party boat here to see if it's working nicely. The only big difference is here that we have a slider for zooming in and out, but you have very smooth zooming out here. So it's switching now lenses at 4.4 times roughly. And now back to the 1 times lens, and we are now at 1x. So what do you think about the Xiaomi 13 Ultra versus the Honor Magic 5 Pro in terms of video? Here we have the photos. On the left always the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, on the right always the Magic 5 Pro. First an HDR shot with the main camera sensor. Despite having a 1-inch size sensor, the HDR looks a bit more processed, a bit better maybe on the Magic 5 Pro, but of course we can correct this on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra by switching to the Leica Vivid mode, which looks a bit more vividy. So you can see like we have a bit more red sky there, which looks very nice, but we have also a little bit like issues here with like a little bit of those sun rays, where the Magic 5 Pro is correcting this with its software and also having a little bit more contrast. I really have to say that it's very close here, but I think I like the more processed look on the Magic 5 Pro in this regard. Also notice that there's a slight difference in field of view. So we have a 23mm view here on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, where the Magic 5 Pro has a 27mm view. So this is cropping into the sensor a little bit on the Magic 5 Pro. Also, sharpening is more aggressively applied on the Magic 5 Pro. When we come to the ultra wide angle, very interesting. Now I am back to the Leica Authentic on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. We have a little bit of brighter exposure on the Magic 5 Pro, which is more realistic, but the sharpness level, especially here, is a bit better on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. Though when we go into the top, I think the focus point was different, because here I think first of all more yellowish kind of colors also on the Magic 5 Pro. Here I think we have a bit more detail levels on the Magic 5 Pro in comparison to the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, which is quite interesting, because I thought the Xiaomi 13 Ultra could win this, but it's very interesting that the Magic 5 Pro is a bit better. We have a wider field of view on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, 1mm actually wider, 12 versus 13mm. It's very interesting in this regard. Both give you roughly the same kind of dramatic field of view here. Which one do you prefer? We come to the ultra wide angle later. Static images in terms of zoom, 3.5 versus 3.2 times. You can see a bit of get a feeling about the difference about the zoom ranges here. Again, a bit warmer colors on the Magic 5 Pro, basically both on par. I don't see much of a difference there. 5 times is interesting because 5 times is an optical one on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, where it's a zoomed in shot on the Magic 5 Pro because it doesn't have another lens here. Very close actually, very close, but on this far away shots I don't see much of a difference. Again, warmer colors on the Magic 5 Pro and a bit more contrasty kind of look, a bit more natural look on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, especially here in the trees where it looks a bit processed already on the Magic 5 Pro, but it's very close. 10 times is where you can see the biggest difference, because here the Magic 5 Pro comes to its knees. The Xiaomi 13 Ultra with its optical 5 times zoom can give you much more natural kind of colors, much more natural kind of processing here without over sharpening. A bit of a haze going on for sure, but it is looking more natural, especially when it comes to the tree area here, where it looks much more sharpened up and artificial. Look at the church here in the background and compare it here to the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. Yes, more haze, but here it's more processed, and it's just adding details that its AI thought is there. Now let's go to closer up kind of shots with the zoom lenses, and here I want to point out a very interesting fact that we have a 5 times zoom button on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. So if you have to quickly zoom into something and take the shot, this is what you get here on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. And we have a 10 times zoom button on the Magic 5 Pro. So this is what you can get when you quickly want to get a shot. This is, by the way, I think some kind of party boat. It was Christopher Street Days here in Cologne, so probably something connected with this one here. It's an over 30 party, how it's called here, U30. So if you can see here, one thing very interesting, the Magic 5 Pro is a bit unsharp, so you cannot detect the faces completely, because it's like using a hybrid kind of zoom, where the Xiaomi 13 Ultra is using the optical zoom, and therefore it's much sharper in this regard for moving subjects, which is quite interesting. 10 times versus 10 times, also very interesting here. Is it actually 10 times? Yes, it's 10 times. Also very interesting. We can see you can see the faces there as well, and I think it's more processed again and a bit unsharp on the Magic 5 Pro, but the colors are looking nice, where the Xiaomi 13 Ultra also does a good job. Let's take a look at the ultra wide angle that is utilized for macro shots. The Xiaomi 13 Ultra does this and the Magic 5 Pro does this. You can see here on first glance already the colors are a bit off on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra for some reason, and also the sharpness is a bit soft there. The Magic 5 Pro much sharper there, much more detailed, much better colors as well. Both can also somehow try to pseudo macro shots with the telecam. The Xiaomi 13 Ultra does not really have this feature, the Magic 5 Pro as well not, but it has a very close focusing distance, which allows you to get away with this kind of shot. I compared the Magic 5 Pro already against the Xiaomi 13 Pro that had this tele zoom macro capability. And it comes very close. You can see here also very detailed. The Xiaomi 13 Ultra using the 3.2 times, you have to step a bit back. Also gets the colors a bit wrong and it's not so sharp. So yeah, a clear win for the Magic 5 Pro in this regard. 10 times zoom because it's 10 times zoom in lower light situations. Very interesting here. Sun was setting right now and you can see that the colors are a bit darker, a bit more warmer on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. I think the Xiaomi 13 Ultra gets the red right because it's a bit too blue on the Magic 5 Pro for some reason. But the Magic 5 Pro has a bit more details thanks to the raised contrast, raised exposure there. Which is quite interesting. This is, by the way, I think it is 10 times zoom, and you can see also the difference here. 10 times zoom on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra is 240 millimeters, where on the Magic 5 Pro it's 270 millimeters, because the Magic 5 Pro by default is cropping into the main sensor, and then 10 times of this would be like 270. And here we have 3.5 versus 3.5 times zoom shot, also in this low light dim lit situation. And again, in this dim lit situation, I think the Magic 5 Pro can keep up and even beat the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, even though it's doing a lot of processing. You can see there. I think, yeah, the Xiaomi 13 Ultra is a bit noisier already than the Magic 5 Pro in this regard. So in this dim lit situation, the Magic 5 Pro zoom lens, especially the native zoom lens, is winning. 5 times versus 5 times, of course, native again on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. It's clearly, it has more noise, but it's beating the Magic 5 Pro's trickery, where you can clearly see the overprocessing and the balloons here, and you can clearly see a little bit of wobble here going on, and not 100% sharp on the Express logo here. So yeah, the zoom lens in dim lit situations, native zooms are working better. Let's talk about front-facing camera. The portrait mode on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra doesn't have HDR for some reason. The Magic 5 Pro does have this nice HDR. And I think also, even though it's heavily processed here, it's a bit sharper. You can see heavily processed. It's a bit smoothing up my face for some reason, where the Xiaomi 13 Ultra keeps a bit more real, but it's also blurry in a way. And yeah, if you turn off the portrait mode, you have nice HDR, which is very comparable to the Magic 5 Pro, as you can see. Would even argue the Magic 5 Pro is doing a little bit more in terms of overdoing it with the colors there, punching the colors out. And this is a bit better, I would say, but still I would prefer the Magic 5 Pro in this regard. Which one do you prefer in terms of selfies here? And then it comes to the main camera. Very interesting. The Magic 5 Pro shows a brighter exposure here in this regard. The sun was already set and getting dark there. It's a bit of blue hour, so we have a bit of bluish kind of colors there, both very blue, but the Xiaomi 13 Ultra gets the colors a bit more accurate, where the Magic 5 Pro is overdoing it again with the colors, though I think the HDR is a bit better on the Magic 5 Pro again. And I think, sharpening algorithms are sharpening things up here again, which appears to be sharp on the Magic 5 Pro again. So when it comes to the next day, very interesting main camera sensor here. The Magic 5 Pro is totally off in terms of colors, because it looks like a little warm kind of day. It was a warm kind of day, but there was like a shower, a storm just passing by, and the colors of the clouds are more accurate on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, even a little bit more darker, I would say. It's not as blue as on the Magic 5 Pro, and but still it is very interesting and impressive that the Magic 5 Pro's almost 1-inch size sensor can keep up with the Xiaomi 13 Ultra here, 1-inch size sensor in terms of the detail levels and so on. So I don't see much of a big difference there. Ultra wide angle here, I think, is where the Magic 5 Pro first of all got the colors a bit more right. It's still a bit more too bluish, but better, a bit more too punchy maybe on the Magic 5 Pro, a bit maybe too desaturated on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. But here's where I think the Magic 5 Pro is pulling ahead the Xiaomi 13 Ultra by a slight margin, only in terms of sharpness and detail levels. Yes, it is a bit overdoing with the sharpness there, you can see that, but still it appears a bit to be better on the Magic 5 Pro. The detail levels also towards the edges here, that it just either it's like very good at sharpening these things up, brightening things up here, or it has the better optics on the Magic 5 Pro. So overall, I would give the slight win in terms of ultra wide angle to the Magic 5 Pro, also because the macro capabilities are better there as well. Now let's come to low light. The Magic 5 Pro is keeping up again, a bit more to warmish kind of colors here, I would say. Maybe slightly bit more greenish on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, bit more processed looking on the Magic 5 Pro. It's keeping up, definitely. You can see that it's heavily processing as well there. And here, yeah, both are fighting against the noise a little bit, both keeping up. But yeah, which one would I give the win to? Actually, I should give the win to Magic 5 Pro because they have a worse sensor. But yeah, here you can see it now, the superiority of the Xiaomi 13 Ultra's main camera sensor. In total darkness, I couldn't see my toolbox here at all. And look how much details I get out of here. And yeah, it's a bit lacking here in details. It's still amazing what they can do, but as you can see here, the noise is creeping in. It's not only darker, but noise is creeping in. And we have a bit of a greenish tint on the Magic 5 Pro, where the Xiaomi 13 Ultra has a bit more warmer kind of colors, is more accurate in terms of colors, has a bit more detail levels. So there is where you can see the difference, where the Xiaomi 13 Ultra pulls ahead with its main camera sensor. So yeah, main camera sensor, definitely Xiaomi 13 Ultra. Zoom for the reach, also the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. The Magic 5 Pro loses there because it's doing a real too much processing, a bit too bluish with the colors here and there. I like that you have the 10 times zoom option directly in the software, but still the Magic 5 Pro is a little bit behind the Xiaomi 13 Ultra when it comes to the zoom capabilities there. Ultra wide angle goes to the Magic 5 Pro, like I said, macro photography, and I think sharpness overall. And even this is like the dramatic field of view, both have like 12 versus 13 millimeters. Is not so much of a difference as like 11 versus 14 or something like that, or 11 versus 16 millimeters. So I would give the win there to the Magic 5 Pro. So what do you think about both of them, the Xiaomi 13 Ultra versus the Honor Magic 5 Pro? I really have to say I'm surprised by the Honor Magic 5 Pro, how good it can keep up with the 1-inch sized sensor with its almost 1-inch sized sensor here. Also in terms of processing and colors, it's very, very cool, and Honor is even improving the camera setup. I'm also impressed by the zoom lens, especially as it can keep up also quite well with the 5 times optical zoom on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. And what's really surprising is that the tele zoom lens can have some more macro capabilities than on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, where the Xiaomi 13 Pro is to be the tele macro champ together with the P60 Pro from Huawei. This one here, the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, they're omitting it for some reason, which is quite, yeah, surprised, because this would be a killer feature also on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. Sadly, it's not there. So for macro photography, I think the Honor Magic 5 Pro has more to offer there. When it comes to the ultra wide angle is quite a bit wider, and you get more dramatic kind of picture on the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, though I think it's a bit softer than the Honor Magic 5 Pro. What do you think? Here are my results, and as you can see, I'm doing more and more those results and stuff, so I hope to make one day like a website and a database out of it, so you can just simply browse my camera comparisons and results for the different camera tests. I will keep updating them when new updates arrive, just like for example the Oppo Find X6 Pro had a lower score for the selfie cam because it couldn't do 4K front video, but now it can do 4K front video, though without EIS, so the score is a bit lower. Nevertheless, that's everything for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Write down in the comment section what do you think about both of these phones. Which one is your winner? Which one would you pick? That's everything for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time. Bye.